Hello everyone, I'm Alena Odonio, and for today, we will discuss language varieties and registers. Before we start, let me ask some questions. So while talking to other people, do you think of a specific way to talk to them? Do you both use the same language? Or do you use certain words that both of you only understand? Because that is what language varieties and registers are all about. So let's start with language varieties. Language varieties is a distinctive form of a language or linguistic expression. These are the particular languages used by people in certain place and social class. It can be classified into regional variety and social variety. Regional variety is the language used by people in a region or certain location. People who live in the same region or place speak the same language as a way for communication. Meanwhile, social variety is the language used by people according to the social group they belong to. People in the same social group speak the same form of language for conversation. Some of the social groups are ethnic groups, the younger generations, the males and the females, and etc. Both regional and social varieties relate to the field of discourse, the medium, and the attitude. The field of discourse is the activity which people are involved in or what language is about. This results in different languages. Next is the medium. The medium is the way communication takes place. It could be through spoken or written. Lastly, the attitude. The attitude is based on the relationship of the people in the communication and their situation. They may be formal or informal. Those are the factors affecting specific language variety. Now, let's proceed to the variety. First, the standard. It is a language that is considered to be appropriate variety of English that follows the rules of grammar and structure of language. It uses a formal and complete set of words, commonly used in formal settings such as speeches, reports, presentations, and more. Here are some examples of language of standard varieties: American English, British English, and Canadian English. Second, the jargon. It is a form of language associated with a specific field and uses specialized words. The language used here will most likely unfamiliar to common people or individuals who are not in the same field. These terms are examples of jargon words. Defamation is a term used in law that means the damage of another person or party's reputation. Dyspnea is used in medical field and means difficulty in breathing. Postpone is used in corporate world and it refers to delay or postpone. Third is the colloquial. It is a language that is commonly used in a conversation, also referred to as spoken language. This language is what we use for our daily conversation. It is not formal but also not too informal. The examples of colloquial are the words gotta, that means got to, wanna, that means want to, and kinda, that means kind of. Fourth, slang is the language that is often informal and has been created with new meaning and very known for some social groups. It is usually used by the younger generation for expression. As time goes by, people create more and more slang languages. Some examples of slang are beat, that means exhausted or tired, dope, that means full, and choke, that means shock. Fifth is dialect. It is a form of language used by a group of people who live in a certain community or region. Although different regions may have some common words or terms, but it may vary different meanings. The example of a dialect is Tagalog, and the other dialects are Kapampangan and Bisaya. Patwa is a dialect spoken in a specific region that is distinct from the standard language of a country. It is possible since an individual can speak more than one language. Next is Pidgin. It is a language developed by people trying to communicate across different languages and form their own communication. An example of Pidgin is Chinese Pidgin English. Lastly is Creole. Creole is language originated in Pidgin and developed into a native language. It is sometimes a result of colonization. An example of Creole is Chabacano. It is a Spanish-based Creole used in Zamboanga in Mindanao. Chabacano was formed when Spaniards colonized the Philippines. The song Porqué by Bautista used the Chabacano language. Those are the types of language varieties and some examples. Now, we will proceed to the language register. Language register is the way the language is used in a particular setting. It can also be called as language style used by the speaker in a specific situation. The purpose of language register is to use the appropriate language that is needed in a situation. There are 6 languages registers, namely frozen, formal, consultative, casual, intimate, and private. Let's start with frozen register. Frozen is intended to remain unchanged. Once it's done, it is fixed. These languages cannot be changed or undone. It is often used in very old discourse. Some examples of this register are Pledge of Allegiance, Lord's Prayer, and the National Hymn. These languages have always remained the same. Second is formal. Formal register is less rigid but still constrained. It is often uses the standard language and is intended to be appropriate and restrained. It rarely uses construction and slang. This register is used in academic, professional, and legal contexts. Formal registers is used in interviews, academic essays, and presentations. Third register is the consultative. It is for communicating with someone who has expertise and asking them for guidance or advice. The tone of the language here may depend on the relationship of the individual. It can be formal and respectful for the first few interactions. It can also be casual if they have deeper and longer relationships. Here are some examples. Talking to a teacher, consulting a doctor, and asking a lawyer. Those are the professionals who have specialized knowledge in their field and we can consult too. Although, consultative can also be as simple as asking a friend for advice. Fourth is the casual register. This register is informal and uses non-standard language. It is often used in speaking with close bonded people and in informal settings. Slang and construction are very common, and grammatical rules are not usually observed. Talking to a friend, birthday party, and speaking with peers are some examples of casual registers. Next is intimate register. Intimate language is shared and reserved for only deep and close relationships. It is not shared in public and often shows affection towards each other. Most of the time, it is only for family members, couples, and etc. Examples of intimate language are talking to spouses, calling endearment, and giving nicknames to pets. Lastly, private register. Private register is register related to the intimate register. It is also not shared in public. This register is for confidential type of communication. Some examples are private transactions, confidential agreements, and telling a secret. Those are the 6 language registers together with some examples. Here is a universal rule that says a person can go from one register to the next register without any conflict. We can use different registers when speaking with other people and switch fastly as long as it is appropriate in the setting. Language varieties and registers can help in developing communication skills and building effective communication. Through this, we can use accurate style for different scenarios and be aware of how to respond to the communication circumstances. That's all from my presentation today. Again, I'm Alena, and thank you everyone for listening. That's all. Goodbye.